And we're coming back to you live from our bedrooms. I'm Sean.
And I'm Zach.
I had no idea where to go with from there.
That was a perfect transition. It was flawless.
It's just like silence for like 5 seconds.
Well,
uh,
go ahead. Go ahead, Sean.
how's your life, man? Tell me about your life.
Dude, it's going. I went to play pickleball with Jacob yesterday. And
Oh,
then
that's so cute.
he mind controlled my cat to injure my hand right before we went, so he had a advantage. And yeah.
No, that sounds exactly like Jacob. Whenever I think of Jacob, I think of mind controlling
I know.
cats.
He's just
Yeah.
like, all right, I really want to beat Zach today at pickleball, so all right, I know we can play with his cat right before he leaves. Cat, claw his hand as hard as you can. Do it
So
now.
did you have to get stitches? Just a big boo boop?
Oh, dude, I had to get like the biggest stitch you've ever seen. I think it's called a Band-Aid.
Oh my gosh, those things! Was it one of the big ones?
It was massive. It wrapped around my entire finger.
Was it
Like
like
it
a
was
Looney
nuts.
Tunes Band-Aid or a SpongeBob or a Hello
No, it
Kitty?
was just
What kind of?
boring. I didn't even get the My Little Pony Band-Aid. I'm so
Oh
sad.
my gosh, that's so embarrassing, man. If that was me, I'd be so
Well,
embarrassed.
well, Sean, I'm a little embarrassed, but also I'll have you know, when I
Uh-huh.
got cut, I only cried for 10 minutes. So,
Oh, that's like a new record
I
for
mean,
you.
which one of us is the real winner here? I'm so manly. I only cry for 10 minutes at a time.
I'm really impressed, you know? I mean, I don't even get hurt, but I just start crying.
Wow.
I think about getting hurt sometimes, and it hurts me so much that I start crying.
You're just
I'm
like
thinking about it right
laying
now.
in bed at night, and you're like, what? Stop that toe on my bed in the morning! The pain! I didn't mean to make it come. No, Sean, it's okay.
Ugh.
Did you die?
How do little kids do that? You know that like the
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 build
build up.
up to the
It's
to the
so long
building
always.
scream.
How do they do the build up? Because like I've run out of breath.
Well, you see, Sean, it's like they realize they're hurt, but they're not
Mhm.
really. They don't like. Does it really hurt that bad? And so at first they're just like, start screaming because like, oh, I got hurt. Oh no, I should have gotten hurt. And then like they're trying to figure out just how bad they're hurt, and then like when they realize it's not a big deal, but they want everyone to think it's a big deal, that's when the
Uh,
scream comes out.
yeah, just.
It's a long thought process. They just have really good lungs. I'm sure you're doing it intentionally. The video of the girl
Yeah,
crying.
yeah,
It's just
yeah.
the motorcycle. Oh my gosh.
Oh, totally
Get
love it
in!
so much.
So sorry.
It's the best.
Should we just like take a moment to play that video for the audience?
Dude, go right ahead. I, I, you better share your screen with me though, so I can see it. I demand
Oh,
it.
um, I was just hoping you put it in like editing,
Oh, that means I have to download the video. It's so much work. I don't
I mean, all right, all
want.
right. How about we just both reenact it for them instead?
Same time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Same time. If you haven't seen the video, go watch it. It's incredible. If you haven't seen it, we probably just sound like a bunch of idiots.
I will be honest. Until you mentioned that I should add that in post, I kind of forgot we were recording Spicy Nugs right now. Uh,
We are a solid 6 minutes into the episode. And shit just came to Sean that he is actually recording Spicy Nugs.
I even introduced. I did the introduction. Like I did the opening of the. I didn't even remember that we were recording.
You just thought we were being stupid this whole time?
I just thought, I thought my friend Zach wanted to have a conversation with me outside of, our work, our business. But
How dare you?
he never does.
No, never.
He never, despite all my attempts at reaching out to be a good friend and show my love and concern for.
Loving concern. Little does Sean know, I'm simply just using him until the time is right.
uh, yeah. Well, I mean, if you were smart, see what I'm doing right now, but don't tell the audience
Yeah,
this.
okay,
But
okay,
what
okay.
I was doing is I was building up favor with the audience by making myself seem like, the
Oh,
nice guy.
you know,
The
that's
nice
pretty
guy who's
smart.
getting
That's pretty smart,
getting
Sean.
taken advantage by the mean guy, which is you. Everyone. Oh, audience, you can listen now. The mean guy is Zach.
I'm the bad cop?
um, yeah, you're a terrible cop.
Oh no. Don't say that, Sean. There's people out there, they'll come for me.
What? Who's gonna come for you? Tell me. I must know.
The cat's listening right now.
Its claws. He's sharpening its claws.
Staring into my soul.
Oh,
So, Sean,
wow.
did you actually have anything you wanted to talk about today?
I'm 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 debating.
You're debating. Does that
So
mean you
let me
have two things, or one thing you're not sure if you want to talk about it?
one thing that I'm not sure.
Okay, okay. How about you give us
Let me give you
a little
yeah,
sample, a little
let me
taste?
give you the rundown. So last night it was like 1 o'clock in the morning,
All right, all right.
and I was like, interestingly enough, I've been exhausted all weekend, but I will not be able to sleep tonight, and I know it. Uh, so I was like, I need something new to do, some new resource that's going to help me sleep. So I
So
googled
of course you
calm.
checked out the merch store.
Yeah, I looked up the merch store, and wow, all those such relaxing, soft clothes. No, I looked up calm, quiet gameplay,
Okay.
and I found a long play of Breath of the Wild. It was like 2 hours long, no talking. And Breath of the Wild, it has like no music, except for at certain points. So it's like just like the sound of Link running around. He doesn't like yell that often
Yeah.
unless you're swinging your sword.
Yeah.
So it's just the sound of running and like the wind and trees and animals, and then occasionally like a little doo stuff like that, right?
Did you get riled?
And man, I was asleep in like 5 minutes.
Nice. Sean found his
But
new thing. Listen to Breath of the
yeah,
Wild every night.
so I mean, really, but uh, so I woke up a little bit later because they got into a battle, and that's when like a little bit of music starts playing. It's kind of like this nice little soft piano that's like do 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 do, right? And so that's when I turned it off and put it away, and decided to like actually sleep, but not with my phone on.
Okay.
um, this is the way I do things.
First,
um,
I'll fall asleep, and then I'll wake up later to
and
actually fall asleep.
I was pondering like sounds, and this is like like 1 o'clock in the morning thoughts where I was already
These are the best
mostly asleep.
thoughts.
Okay, but I was pondering sounds, and my brain really went wild with where it went with this, and I was still like basically asleep through all these thoughts. But um, I was thinking about first of all off things that like it can be a sound or some kind of like stimulus that I have conditioned myself essentially to have a response to.
Okay.
So those sounds are kind of one of those things. I was talking to Jacob about this today, but like where I would be like I'll get on in a class, right? And maybe like I'm there early in the class, like the live stream, and so like there's only a few other people there, and it's just quiet. And like maybe the teacher's there and their microphones on, and they're not talking, but like you can hear them like moving around, like shuffling papers or writing or stuff like that. Those sounds of just like the ambient like paper shuffling, like that puts me to sleep, man, like so quickly.
Really?
um, yeah, totally. Another thing that came to mind is just like literally just wearing a life jacket, which sounds really weird, but like It's because I have so many memories as a kid going to Lake Powell, and get done with the long drive, and we get in the boat, and then we have to drive and find a beach, which can take a couple hours sometimes. And so we have to wear a life jacket because we're young kids, and then I just crawl into like the cabin of our larger boat, my grandparents' larger boat, and I just fall asleep in there with my life jacket on until like some big wave slams me against the ceiling. But like so like literally just the feeling of having a life jacket on me can like legitimately put me to sleep. And it's something that I've conditioned within myself. So I don't know if this is relatable at all. So I was wondering, is there anything like that? Not necessarily with sleep, but like things that you've literally like it's just some random thing and you've connected it with something else and now it's like you've conditioned it within yourself.
Oh man, off the top of my head, I don't know. It's
I
like,
know. That's
well, the one thing that I feel like I can relate to, and a lot of other people would be able to relate to, is like even something simple as making those connections within video games, especially
uh
horror. Like, cat.
oh gosh, what's happening?
She's climbing up the back of my chair with her claws. I was like peeking over the back side of the chair, just looking at me.
Uh, I mean,
Sorry.
you did say she was going to attack, so I mean, I guess we're here.
Dude, we made it. We made it. No, so, well, one thing I think is interesting is what about white noise for you? Do you like listening to white noise when you sleep?
So honestly, I've never taken that much interest in like in white noise. It for me, it's more of just ambient.
Hmm.
Um, and I was thinking about this too. Like, is this like a form of ASMR? Because I feel like ASMR. I don't know the exact definition, but I feel like it's like it's quiet noises that kind of like they like pierce them people this somehow that like it makes them feel tingly or something. I don't feel that. It just makes me sleepy. Is that like a form of ASMR? I have no idea.
Sean's ASMR is the sounds of a life jacket when he rolls around, plus the
But
sound of someone shuffling some papers in the corner.
that honestly, just you saying that and me imagining it, I'm like I'm like relaxing.
Well, so I asked that question because for me, I hate white noise when I'm trying to sleep. Like I can't stand it.
Yeah, I don't know about white noise. That's I feel like that's almost like just too much, which doesn't make much sense. But like even though like there's nothing happening with white noise, there's so much happening. This I don't know if that makes any sense. Bueller.
Bueller?
Oh, there you are.
Hi. I was just listening to your sweet succulent voice over there. Actually, I was actually
Uh,
just trying to think of anything that like comes to mind with the sounds.
oh, sure.
Like
You
I
want
don't
me?
the only thing that like, and this I feel like everyone has this. It's like
Mhm.
we each condition ourselves to wake up when our alarm goes off,
Ah, that's a good one.
and
Although,
different people use different sounds for that. So
yeah.
like it's like if I was to set my alarm to um the sound of a rainforest in the morning, like wind going through the trees, blah blah blah, right?
Hmm.
That would not wake me up.
Right.
But if I listen to it enough, and I know my alarm's supposed to go off, when I hear those sounds, I think I would wake up.
Mm.
But
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I guess there's a lot of like very simple little things that we just as people condition ourselves to do. Because like whenever you talk about conditioning, especially like within psychology, it's a very like it feels in a lot of ways manipulative because you're trying to get an end result.
right.
Pavlov was doing his experiment with those dogs, and he was trying to do something else entirely at the beginning, but eventually he found his psychic secretions, right? Um, and a lot of it is just like the mice running through the maze and stuff like that, where it's just like you are like acting upon something outside of yourself and trying to cause a reaction in some other organism, whether that's a human or an animal. Um, but it's strange to think that we do that
To
to
ourselves.
ourselves. Yeah, we literally just we say, hey, um, you know, I need to wake up at this time every morning. To take your example, I'm going to play this loud noise every morning at a specific time, and it's going to help me wake up. That's just straight up conditioning. It's weird to think that we like manipulate ourselves that way.
Well, I
I don't
think
know.
it's interesting because, like, you mentioned sound, but I think we do this with all of our senses. Like, even sight. Like, let's say every day I'm supposed to be studying at 7 o'clock, right? When I see the number 7, I'm like, oh crap, I should be doing this. And if I'm not doing this, then I don't know. It's like I feel like it's kind of a crazy thought to like how much have we conditioned ourselves, but we don't understand that's what we've done.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and it makes me think of just like our habits, because that's straight up conditioning. Um, no one's like forcing you to do these specific things at specific times of the day. You just do them because that's when you usually do them. You're conditioning yourself into doing these same things over and over again, and that's why it becomes so hard to either break them or change them or create new ones. Um, because in a lot of ways, these habits, these conditioning things that we do, if they're like almost unconscious, it just becomes a very natural thing. Whereas if we're actively like, okay, I'm going to change this, I'm going to condition myself to do this, then it's like, well, now I'm conditioning myself, and you're thinking about it, and it becomes like more of a task somehow.
It's just like when your mom tells you to clean your room when you're already cleaning your room. You're like, well, now I don't want to do it.
Exactly.
I would have conditioned myself to clean my room if someone didn't tell me to do it. No.
Zach,
um,
Zach, you should condition yourself to clean your and then you have
Whenever
to
you hear
condition
this
yourself.
sound, ding, go clean your room.
Then you have to condition yourself to clean your room. And then someone tells you to condition yourself to condition yourself to clean your room. So then you have to condition yourself to condition yourself to condition yourself to clean your room.
That's some conditionception going on.
It just always expands outwards.
So, do you think that there is maybe one thing that we have that every single person has conditioned themselves to do, but on
I
their own accord?
Meaning like consciously, like they chose to do it.
Chose to or not.
Oh, either way. I think there's tons of things. I think like there's so many things that every person basically just conditions themselves to do. We just call it something different because it's within our own selves. We call it, I'm changing my lifestyle, or I'm trying to make better habits, or I'm setting goals for the new year. Like all those things, you can are just like you conditioning yourself into doing them, based on certain parameters, whether it is seeing that time, setting alarms on your phone, like having someone else tell you to do it. Like that's you conditioning yourself into doing it, right? It's, I don't know, like I think there's so many different things. I don't even know where to begin with it.
That whole idea is like crazy to me. That like, um, completely, like, every single person comes to the same conditioning, I guess, on their own accord.
Mm.
Like the idea that, and then I guess my question is why? Is it human nature? Is it something we all just like want to happen? Like I don't know.
I wonder. I do wonder. I think a lot of it is actually learned behavior from others. Um,
Oh,
I mean, like your example of cleaning your room. I think when you were very little and your mom told you to clean your room, you would do it. And eventually, that learned behavior actually kind of turned against her, where you were conditioned what to be when you were told to clean your room to do it, but it became such like a bad thing in your mind, that you became conditioned for the opposite. That when you're told to clean your room, you no longer want to do it. So
it's
in
almost
that
like
way,
the reverse of what they wanted.
exactly, you've the initial conditioning was probably working out because when you're little, you just kind of do what your parents told or tell you to. But eventually, as you become your own person, those conditionings can kind of change, and you can change them yourself. Um, so I think, yeah, I think it begins a lot like it can be learned behavior. I think part of it will definitely be in like genetics, um, and like you know, when you're hungry, you go eat. That's you're being conditioned to do so, right?
Right, when
So
your stomach gets mad at you and you're like, okay, that means I'm hungry. Let's go get some food.
exactly. I
Well,
think in
so
a lot
like
of
we
ways.
talked a lot about. Sorry to interrupt, but
No, you're good.
before this like goes flying from my mind for eternity, like throughout Spices, we've talked a lot about change just in general, and like I don't know, like I guess change is just reconditioning yourself.
Yeah, and that's where I was going actually is this conversation. I didn't get this far. I went a completely different direction with my thoughts last night, and we can talk about that later maybe if I choose to. But like um it kind of gives me like some kind of like empowerment to think about it in this way, like these like bad habits maybe where I'm like I always do this and I don't want to keep doing this. Like I just need to like, because when I think of okay, you need to change that habit, it feels kind of like oof, that's going to be tough because it's like I was talking about before, it's a process in my brain that I've worked over and over again, and now it's just a thing.
Right.
But if I think of it like okay, I need to recondition myself, then I think of like okay, well, every time I need to do this, the bell needs to ring and I need to reward myself, right? Um, and it becomes like more of like a simple process instead of like this weird, vague, insurmountable task. I don't know if that makes any kind of sense.
No, no, no. Like as you were talking, the quote that came to my mind was, "If you think you can, I think you can't. You're right." And it's just because like I feel like with if you think you can do something, then it's just like reconditioning yourself is just like forming habits, right? You have to do it
Yeah,
over and over again. And if you truly believe that, then you're going to um, continue to work on those habits. So, and the
totally.
reverse goes for not doing it.
Yeah. So I guess I don't think this is like the only way to change habits,
This is
right?
the only way, and you heard it here on Spice Nuggets and Smash Bros. We want credit in your papers, in your college papers, um,
You
and
cite us APA format.
well, I actually wanted MLA.
Oh, okay.
If
Yeah.
you're quoting Sean, use APA, but if you're quoting me, use MLA.
It doesn't matter what your paper's for. You have to do it that way just because we said it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way it works.
Perfect.
um, but no, like I think this is probably just like a good tool that can be used in changing bad habits or adding good habits into your life. Like just finding ways to reward those good ones that are like probably external from yourself in some way. I see like online, you ever see that one where it's like you put a bunch of like jelly beans on your textbook at different lengths,
Oh
and then
yeah.
once you read that far, that's literally
You get the
conditioning
reward.
yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's conditioning yourself to read your textbook.
Do,
That's literally what that
do
is.
you think that people who do something similar to that is like they get to the page before that jelly bean and like their mouth starts watering? They're like, oh,
Dude, I
gotta
bet.
read that page. Yes.
Honestly, I really bet they do. I bet there's
Because
some
I
like
guarantee
there's
that's what would
something
happen
going
to me. I'd
on
be
in
like,
there.
I have to finish this page now. That jelly bean's on the other side.
I'm thinking of like it sounds like a Harry Potter story in my mind where it's like Zach and the Jelly Bean textbook.
Book one.
Book one.
That is the climactic ending. It's me turning the page to the page with the jelly bean on
It's like a 300-page novel,
it.
but it's just you're reading like 2 pages of your textbook.
And like it's just like all this like psychological nonsense going on throughout the book, and it's like, oh, but what if I turn the page without reading it? But no, that
Yeah,
would be
just
very
like
ethical of me now, would it?
all your brain processes, all these neurons firing, sending different signals,
It's
causing
like
different
those thoughts you have. It's
reactions.
like when you have like a million thoughts within like 3 seconds, and that's all the book is. within
that'd be
those
a
2 pages.
honestly, like it'd be dumb. It'd be a really dumb book, but I feel like that'd be really impressive to write that. That's like a really difficult concept to capture, like an entire thought process like that. That's so large in that many pages, but at the same time, it's such like a small moment. I feel like that's really impressive.
Sean, make it
So
happen.
oh, I was gonna say, so get on that, Zach.
Oh, phew! Glad I beat him to it. Well, Sean,
Anyways,
now that we're extremely out of time,
lovely.
do you have any last thoughts about conditioning?
Um, I think Zach, this is my final thought.
Yeah.
Your cat is conditioning you. I just want you to know that.
You're probably right.
So,
Whenever I hear her meow, I have to look over because she's probably getting in trouble. So.
yep, you are being conditioned. We are all being conditioned. We are all just pawns that Big Brother is using to bring about their purposes, so that when the aliens with the lizard heads come to rule, we will be willing and ready to accept them.
And don't forget to cite me in MLA. That's my last thought. There you go.
Thank you all so much for joining us. I'm still Sean.
I'm still Zach.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye. Zach is right. Zach is always right. Sean is wrong. Always very wrong.
Sean is right. Sean is always right. Zach is wrong. Zach is very wrong. Do 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 well.
Now I'm really sad. Because I started recording right at the end of that, and now they only hear the last whale.
I'm happy about that. That's the way God meant it to be.
You're probably right. That's why it happened that way after all.
Yeah, definitely. I truly believe, and you can take this to heart.
Okay.
I truly believe that that the song "Sail" would be at least 75% better if it was called Whale.
Whale. Well, I mean, Sean, that could be part of our new album coming out.
Bro, the song "Sail," but we use whale sounds to make it.
It's incredible.
And we
It's
just
incredible.
yell whale. and then we make an entirely new band and we call it A Whale Nation instead of A Wall Nation.
We just it's like when you copy someone's homework but you change it just a little bit.
Yeah.
Just enough that
Definitely.
it goes unnoticed,
That's us right there. A Whale Nation.
I mean, we're only here for the YouTube money anyways, so
That's
you
a
gotta
fact.
do what you gotta do.
Yeah, follow us on Spotify, I guess.
We have Spotify now.
Yeah, for the Moon Sunlight.
Yeah.
We've always had it.
Oh.
And check out the Moon Sunlight merch in the merch store.